Finding the right pair of pants before going minimalistic black. Discussing different pants and jeans types and how well they fit into the minimal mindset. Finding the perfect standard pant was not as easy as one could think it is, but at the same time, once I set the right criteria and ordered all the ones to fit my criteria, it suddenly all fell into place and I found the right one. I am wearing, as of writing this, pretty sure I will buy multiple pairs of these. So it's a black slim jeans from H&M, and it's basically the most simple jeans in this category they have. And it's also the cheapest. It's $19.99. Of these, in order to go fully minimal, it all started years ago, for the first few years of my life. My teenage years, basically, for the first few years of my life till my teenage years, I hated shopping. It was a chore. It meant trying on all these ugly clothes in classic big stores, but not clothing stores, but rather all in one big department stores you found all over Europe, like Karstadt. It usually meant trying on all these clothes I didn't deem to be chic anyway, but rather ugly. Then it all changed. Once I discovered there actually were stores dedicated to clothes, with clothes that actually looked good. Quote by me. I fell in love with H&M. They simply offered the stuff I had dreamt to shop for years, and all it took was to simply visit a store, as simple as it sounds. Previously, I just couldn't imagine myself actually being allowed to shop there, and then to wear actual cool clothes like the ones they offered there. After years of wearing stuff I actually didn't like, and also lots of used stuff from relatives, buying new actual cool clothes was a game changer for me. And the store that changed the game for me was H&M. This probably was one of the reasons I came back to the store and company again and again for years. And I also was when I decided to buy minimal black pants. I actually wasn't sure yet whether it would make sense to go for grey or dark grey options instead of pure black for chinos or for jeans. For years, I had been stuck with chinos. I found them also at H&M years ago, when there was a chino trend happening, at least in my perception. I found them and I stuck with them over the years, and since my way of thinking back then was already pretty similar to the way I think nowadays, after an extensive test period of a single pair, I bought another one of the exact same type, and then went all in and bought multiple pairs in all the colors that seemed right to me. This was the result, at least the one from the most recent purchase. So we have a light beige, then we have a middle beige, then we have a brownish color, brownish kind of potato, ochre, whatever you call it, and then we have a marine color. And I also linked my other. So I actually have three multifunctional or trekking pants in grey, in olive, and in beige again. And I also had, or still have, two jeans. But one I sold because it was simply too big. And the other one is, so these are simply my two jeans. Only one problem. Back then I really liked baggy and also found it to be the most practical. Since I was and still am using my bike quite often, the pants I wore simply had to be comfortable enough for this purpose. They basically felt like sweatpants, but with serious chino looks. And these still hold up looks and the pants. I wore them for the last 5 to 6 years almost exclusively. Additionally, I had first one, then 2 pairs of blue jeans and 3 pairs of trekking pants, multifunctional, with lots of pockets. And since I always found myself in need of lots of pockets, for example, whenever running around taking pictures when traveling, and in need of a place for a landscape SD card, power bank, camera battery, I stuck with the trekking pants whenever I needed those. But as I grew older, I had to find out all of these purchasing decisions were kind of based on the assumption baggier was always better. This meant for me 1.82 meters, so 182 centimeters, and it's probably a little bit over 6 inch, and on average on the leaner side, that I bought and then was stuck with pants with a width of usually 32 inches, but in reality my waist indeed is more made for 30-inch pants. I simply bought all these pants oversized and also over-lengthed. Both strategic decisions. I usually tried on all the different sizes and lengths, because when cycling in winter, you don't want your pant to let in the cold because it's too short. Combinations from width 30 to 34 and length 30 to 34. Oh man, English is difficult. And 30 to 34. Only one other problem though. I never did fully get these were actual real measurements I actually could use. Therefore I just tried all the different versions. And because I bought them oversized and I didn't know about width and length, since in Europe there are also other pants sizes so widely used these days, I was pretty happy when I found the above mentioned. Another strategy when it came to clothes was then to simply prepare the different stacks with clothes that fit and I liked and just randomly pick one of each, always from the top, and adding clothes fresh from the laundry to the bottom. One shirt from the top of the stack, one pair of pants. You get the idea. Therefore, I got rid of 10 minutes of choosing the right outfit for the day, which previously often took quite some time, because I randomized my outfit. Since the different stacks, of course, had different amounts of items, the system allowed me to have in general 3 different types of pants, the above mentioned, but still being able to reduce my outfit decisions to a minimum. And whenever I needed a specific color or type, I simply could use or choose without the randomized stacking system. So here is a picture of the different stacks, but only the types of clothes I had multiple pairs of. Basically, my idealized capsule wardrobe after the first big standardization. So I actually took pictures of all my nice clothes, not the ones I only wear for like painting or stuff like this, where you actually don't care about the clothes anymore. So let's quickly go through these. So these are my shoes. I have winter boots, then I have a replacement for the winter boots since the first one were kind of done already. Then I have hiking boots, then I have Nike sneakers, then I have another pair of Nike sneakers, then I have 2 pairs of Adidas sneakers, then I have 1 pair of Nike running shoes, then I have 1 pair of Converse, then I have 2 pair of Bugatti leather shoes, which I quite like because they are so nice. Quite minimal, all of it, yeah. Then I have 1 pair of really nice shoes, €5 at H&M. Then I have another pair of Amazon fake Nike Airs, €20. Then I have 1 pair left of another Amazon €20 purchase. Then I have Salomon running shoes, which I also use for trekking. Then I have my previous running shoes, which I bought like almost 10 years ago, but I still have them, and they are probably not the best in terms of lag. In terms of, well, I got some problems when running usually, and probably because I ran in the same shoes for years. Then I have another pair of shitty shoes and another pair of these Amazon shoes I bought in a batch for 20 years again, but it turned out to be not that great. Then I have like as many pair of winter socks that I could get. I purchased them like last year because I wanted to have one standardized pair of warm socks. Then I have these 3 different types of pants. I do have a few more pants, like working pants, but yeah. Then I tried to standardize my underwear with boxers from Kick, a German or European retailer, but turns out they just didn't offer the thing I wanted to. And I also found out that actual trunks, so the shorter ones, not the boxer ones, are much better and also much easier to handle. And I bought recently just 30 pairs of these trunks, also of H&M. Then the next thing we take a look at is the shirts. So I try to find like similar types of shirts out of the ones I already had, and this is the result. So I have like 3 from H&M, kind of similar but not really similar. The thing is, I do not have two shirts from the same type. I only categorize them kind of apart from 3 H&M shirts, V-necks I bought years ago and I still use. But the thing is, it's not interesting right now. So the next thing is long sleeves, or you also call them handleys. I actually have 5 different ones, but nowadays I only have I got rid of I used to buy really baggy clothes and also really baggy shirts, and therefore I got the L, the large shirts, and instead of the M that would usually be the right fit for me. Therefore, I got rid of this one. I still have this one since it's an M. I also have this one still, and so this is a grey variant of a Henley shirt, and then I have another grey variant of a Henley shirt. And then there are these long sleeves, these baseball long sleeves, basically a white body with colored arms, which look kind of dope, and I thought I would get like 5 of these in black for my minimal wardrobe, but nowadays I'm not quite sure. They are actually pretty cheap on Amazon. They are made by Fruit of the Loom, but they are also usually available at different stores like H&M. So the first one, the olive one, is from Primark and the second one is from H&M. So these are actually 2 different ones, but I just categorize them as the same. Then the thing I found out all over the years, I do have hoodies, but the thing is with hoodies, whenever you do sports, for example, you bike and then you are in a rush and therefore you sweat a little bit, the problem is that thermoregulation of your body kind of is not really working in normal hoodies. Therefore, also, if you ever, for example, bike and then you are somewhere inside again in winter, then you suddenly begin to sweat, and you cannot get a hoodie off without destroying your hair or without taking off all the other clothes. But what you can do with a jacket, so basically a hoodie jacket with a zipper, is you can just open it up and therefore it allows for much better cooling. This is the reason I almost exclusively wore these hoodie jackets for the last years. But the thing is, I just have these. I used to like blue a lot in the past, but I just don't anymore because it's just so used and it also looks so boyish, I guess. Whereas black just looks more clean, more, I don't know. So the thing is, in the future, I would want to get like at least two pairs of hoodies, black hoodies. The other thing is you should also get a slim variant, because usually the hoodie is also baggy. Why? Because most of the population nowadays, or a huge part of the population nowadays, is kind of overweight, and this means that almost all of the clothes are kind of cut for these kind of people. So this means they have not really a waist. Therefore, it doesn't make sense to just cut out something on the waist. Therefore, these just look really shitty. Normal clothes. So the regular fit usually looks pretty shitty on people. And the thing is, in general, it's actually quite easy. The leaner you get, the shittier you look in normal clothes, and the more you just look better in slim clothes. And this is the reason models are so lean, and they also look so slim, because they can't just wear slim clothes and look good in them. whenever you tend to be higher in body fat, you just look not that good in slim clothes anymore, and this is also the reason you should then stick to more regular fit type of clothes. But the problem, of course, is that whenever you lose a little bit of body fat, then you have all these clothes and the proportions just are not there anymore, because the head, for example, just gets much smaller once the fat on the below the face is a little bit off, or gets off. Not really gets off, comes off is the right thing. Okay, then I do have 5 different headbands. I actually have 6, I think. So this is one for skiing from Head, and I actually used it quite a lot, and therefore I went on Amazon and I bought just different variants, but these are just looking like childish again. This is just different colors. What I would do nowadays, and I also already found them, they also are available, these multifunctional headbands are available in black. Therefore, the thing is, you can use them and I use them daily, basically. Whenever I sleep during the day, I just put them on as a sleep mask. You can also wear them, for example, in a plane as a sleep mask. It works great, and also they are very soft. The thing is, you also can wear them if you have longer hair, to kind of as a headband. You also can wear them as a scarf. You also can wear them as a mask, especially nowadays with COVID-19. And if you hear this, maybe, there was COVID-19, you probably found out. Then I have these bandanas, which I don't use anymore, because the thing is about these headbands, they are just loops. This means you don't have to tie a knot. But with these bandanas, you have to tie a knot, therefore you usually get some hair into the knot, and this actually quite hurts. And also you have to fold them every now and then, and also you just kind of look unserious, and you just kind of look like a hippie who wants to put on a headband and say some cool stuff, and now we do a campfire kind of vibe. This is the reason I don't use them anymore. The headbands are just so much better. I used the bandanas for sport almost exclusively, and so whenever I did sport, since I do have a little bit of mid-length hair and nowadays a little bit longer, thing is, you usually just need something which is not a hat, but just to tie your hair into place, not really tie it, just to fix your hair into one place. Because if you box, for example, your hair flies all over your face, and once your top hair is longer than your eye, so reaches over your eye basically, then you have the problem that you have hair in your face all day long. Therefore, you have to get something like a headband to just fix it into one position. And this means I nowadays use these headbands, these loop bands for sport, and you can also use them for covering up your watch, for example. If you own a smartwatch and you do, for example, work outdoor or you paint, then you just want to prevent your watch from getting scratches, and therefore you can just use these. Okay, another thing, beanies. Actually, I'm just talking about my wardrobe right now. The thing is, a beanie basically, so there are these old hats, and a beanie basically is just an old hat but folded out. And therefore I discovered that I already had lots of beanies, and I just didn't wear them as beanies. The thing is, you cannot really wear them as headband replacement, so this would also be dope, because they are just too thick. This means your head just gets too hot in normal temperatures, and this is not good for thinking. At least for me, it doesn't really work out, because my head just gets too hot. Okay, but the thing is, with the capsule wardrobe, I have already one black beanie, and I just would get rid of all the other ones, maybe keep the gray ones, but I bought them last year, and I bought also a marine one, but just these standard muted colors, also H&M and every other store offers. The same with the chinos. Then I have two caps, which are made of cloth, which is very practical because you can just throw them into the laundry and they are dry again. Whereas these other normal hats you cannot really, because sometimes there is this thing called cardboard in them if they are not properly made and if they are cheap ones. This means so the idea would be to have multiple of these hats, and they are just so nice and practical, and just also to switch them up. And also for example, if you work in the sun all day long and you just don't want your face to be completely red after, it's just nice to have something to cover your face. And also just wear them the other way around and just use them as an accessory, which is easy to use. So, and they are basically, you can bunch them together into one hand, whereas these other are just too rigid. Then I do have a few leftover hats, also a French hat, but I got rid of this, I got rid of this, so I do have this nice straw hat, and this cap is leftover purchase basically from my teenage years, and this hat is I bought in France, in Paris, because, well, the French hat. Okay, but over the years, the thing about them being so baggy began to annoy me. It simply meant I could never wear normal pants without a belt, since they simply were too wide. But I still didn't change up things. After years of waiting, my pants finally began to dissolve before I simply had stuck with my past decisions and therefore past pant purchases. Because, let's face it, you simply don't get much for worn clothes, obviously. Selling on eBay or on the flea market usually doesn't result in much cash either. I actually sold a second washed out jeans for €10 on eBay since this pair was even wider. 33, and was the first one to be dumped in order to embrace a future with normal pants. Was the thing I hoped and still am hoping. I can live one day, but I still have all the above mentioned pants, and this is a problem still. But for once, many of them have small holes already. This means I can then finally dispatch them without feeling guilty because of financial and environmental considerations, but also finally can buy new ones, and therefore replace another round of clothes with their minimalistic or rather functionalistic or standardized counterparts. Wearing the same stuff every day reduces decisions even more. If you only have one pair of pants, but you got multiple pairs of these pants, then all potential optimization processes in front of the mirror are simply cut by the non-availability of options. Here are a few principles I applied over the years in my past purchasing decisions, not only in regards to clothing. Always go for black. In almost every single item, whether it's a stereo, a pen, a phone case, a notebook, an external screen, a smartwatch cover, a toiletry bag, a guitar chair, any cable, headphones, mice, studio lights, rucksacks, bags, you name it. Black is the single most available color option in the world, I'd say. Therefore, black items or variants usually have a bigger trading volume, therefore lower prices. Of course, after the initial purchase, especially. For example, if you want the red phone, then after prices dropped after the initial release, you almost always have to pay more for the red phone instead of the black one. Stick with the thing mostly available. This also means these are the items with the most accessories available, with the most conversation happening about them. Ever tried to find a case for a Nokia on the beach? Well, you probably only got iPhone cases offered there. And with reviews online becoming more and more a thing, if you get something many other people also have, the chance that solutions to potential problems arising out of your purchase, like your notebook, is higher. And these solutions therefore are already out there. At least have a higher chance of being already out there, because someone else already encountered the problem before. Try to find something good, something that lasts for years, like the above mentioned pants. Therefore, I don't have to worry about this type of physical good for years, literally, and you also don't. Only buying clothes when I felt like they actually could be worn without anything I already had and had the star power to make these items look better. Can be worn with anything I already had. This meant over the years I just got rid of about 90 to 95 of clothing purchases, because very often individual items just don't have this power. This actually just is a way of saying only buying the items you really like instead of buying things because of other reasons. This also reduces doubt later on, because if you are unsure when buying things, the uncertainty usually doesn't go away later on. In front of the mirror trying to pick an outfit in the morning, for example. Now, applying these principles and learnings, my new pair of standard pants should therefore fulfill the following criteria. Fit without the need for a belt. Fit like a normal pair of pants instead of the oversized look. Be either black or dark gray, as cheap as possible. This means I can easily buy multiple pairs without worrying about the price too much. In brackets, every item you purchase has the opportunity cost of a small cash flow from an average return on invested money. Stretch. I discovered this only in recent time. You don't actually have to have baggy pants in order to be able to also move a little bit in your pants without the risk of tearing them, like dancing, like restricting your movements when biking, for example. You can go much tighter in terms of fit if the pants just have a proper stretch. This also means you can wear your all-round pants, or rather all-round jeans, also for the occasional basketball game, whenever either you don't have the time to switch clothes or you simply don't have any other pants or shorts. This introduced another idea. What if you also could do things like running, biking, hiking just with your normal and standard pair of pants? Therefore, getting rid of the need of additional sports shorts or pants when traveling, at least, or in general when going minimal without traveling. Therefore, being able to pack much quicker and lighter, since your stuff is more similar to the packed travel stuff at any point in time, therefore making traveling easier. That's a wrap. We'll take a look into the details of the new standard pants in another post. Stay tuned for that one.